Grand Rising, beautiful souls. It is 12, 12, 2:12 in the morning. It's now officially February 4th. You're probably wondering what I'm doing up. Divine, yes, here, speak with you. Update on my water fast. So since it's past midnight, it's officially day 3. Yeah, day 3 of my water fast. I woke when I went to sleep. I had a little bit of a headache. Yeah, it's hard to look through the glasses when my head hurts. When I went to sleep, I had a little bit of a headache. Yes, there's a wet towel on my head. So, since I'm doing my water fast, I couldn't take any pain meds. I'm like, okay, let's breathe this through, da da da. And then I started doing, this helped a lot, was a sage smudge to my head. And went to sleep. I felt a little funny before going to sleep, but I was like, okay, that's just the cleansing process. I'm not gonna try to go too deep into the why of it. Why isn't it lighting? Hopefully that wasn't messing up the sound. I keep tissues by me for when I cough and sneeze, or if I have to wipe my doggy's face, because she'll sneeze and I go everywhere. I usually have a washcloth for her, but sometimes I use towels, depending. I blow on like this because I like to get a nice red and smoky. I do that a couple times in between lighting it. I can't wait to grow my own sage. You see, I get it really hot. So what I do for my headache to relieve tension is I start with a small circular motion over my third eye, and then I'll bring it around my face to go around to my temple, and then I'll bring it around. Individual circular motion while I take it around my face. Bring it into the jawline so it can loosen up that tension in there. Then around the jawline, in my chin, and then up the other side, and back to my crown. And then I'll just kind of sit with it. And blow on it again. It's harder to keep the bigger piece lit than the smaller pieces. Sometimes I take the smaller pieces, so they're a little bit easier. I was using them in the video because they'll just stay glowy, but they don't produce as much smoke when you do that. Like they do, but they don't. Good. And sometimes I just let it sit around my throat, especially since I just purged. It's really good to help open the throat back up. So this has been my pain relief, working with the sage around my face, my neck, my shoulders, and the back of my head where the pineal gland is. I have to put my hair up to do that so I don't burn my hair up by accident. That would never be fun. So I want to get to my pineal gland because it's really intense right now. So first, I need to bring it down from my shoulders put the wet rag more into my shoulders so I can feel the cool, relaxing. And I'm actually using a pillowcase so it doesn't get as drippy. Because sometimes when I use a washcloth or a hand towel, it gets really, really drippy. So this just kind of keeps that cool feel on my skin and my body so it doesn't like get me all wet. Alright, so I'm gonna try to light the bigger piece to get my pineal gland. I'm gonna turn it around. Let me see if this side light's better. I've been slowly taking it apart too, and so I have the little pieces. There's so much going on in my stomach right now. Body's like, it's time to release the toxins. It's time to release the toxins. I really wanted to be on my 4th day of my fast before I went to the doctor's. I go this afternoon at 2:30, and then I get my blood work done. I had my blood work done like 3 weeks ago, and it was all kinds of wonky. And that's what promoted me to want to do this whole fasting. Now bring it back towards me. Oh, I feel so good. Having the smoke hit my pineal gland and back of the head. It really does penetrate through. And it gets through my hair, it gets through my skin. I feel it all the way down into my pineal gland. Because the pineal gland is like in the back of the head, but it's like up in the back of the head, just under the bone where it meets. But it's amazing. And then take it a little on the shoulders. It really does help relieve stress. Another one to burn would be like rosemary, but I don't have a rosemary stick right now. I need to make some. Now that we're majority of the way through winter, since February started, warmer climates are having their spring. But I'm in Colorado. Luckily, it's not snowing, and the snow is starting to melt. So I can like finish putting together my greenhouse. Yeah, I'm super excited. The one thing I want to grow the most is lion's mane. So let's see how that goes. Oh my god, that feels so good. Just resting right there on the crown. It really takes away the pain, stress, and a lot of the nausea. Now, if like I said, if you don't like sage, you could do like rosemary. Since I live in Colorado and I have pine trees all over the place, I'll pick the pine and I'll burn the pine to like smudge the whole place because, I don't have that much sage. I just use the sage for my personal self, not for the whole house cleanse. I like sprinkle a little bit into the pine and it works really well. And because I'm moving into a new camper, so today what I did is I had a bowl of my burnt stuff and then some pine, and then I put my little tiny birthday candle in the middle, and it was purple, so that was great because that lets in all the light and love from our universe. And I just walked around the house burning as it would go, and as the candle would melt, the wax would help the pine burn, because if you don't let it dry for like a week or so, it won't burn. It just won't. Pine is so interesting to burn, I'm telling you. Usually I have to let it dry out for a week or two before you can burn it. it literally puts out the flames. The pine resin will literally put out flames when it's not dried out. It's the strangest thing. It's like you could put the flame to it and it'll come to it, right? Like that. This still continues to burn. But pine, it'll go out. It'll go pfft. Yeah. I'll have to show you in another video. It's trippy. Like the first time it happened, I was like, wait a minute. So it's like I have to hold the flame just far enough to be able to touch the tip of the pine needles so the spark that comes from out of the pine doesn't put the flame out. So it's a lot easier. And I'll put it out on a candle too. I've tried it. It's a trip. Alright. No, we got a little piece burning still. I know, it feels so good. And like, I can still feel a little issue right here. So I want to like get a little more to it. So yeah, I woke up and my headache was worse. And I felt really dehydrated, but I also felt nauseous. But I was like, let me drink some water anyway, because that's all I can do, since I'm in the water fast. I don't want to take any supplements. I don't want to take any tinctures, because I want my blood work to be natural. So I was like, okay, I'll drink water. And of course I purged it out, and with whatever was left in my stomach, oof, I felt very acidic, almost orangey, which was weird because I haven't had oranges and I can't remember when. But yeah, so after that I was like, okay, body, what do we want to do? And that's when I was like, okay, I put the heat on, but no, it was making me too nauseous because the propane smell. And when I'm fasting, I get so sensitive when I'm turning the propane on the stove. I smell it for like 10 minutes. It's the craziest thing. And when the heater kicks on, I can smell the propane too. And just spend time with the sage on your pain points, your chakra points. Okay, my pain point is underneath, so I gotta move it. It's incredible how much it relaxes the body. I can't explain it. It's just so relaxing, so much better. You know, and when you get dehydrated and then you get nauseous and you can't drink water, use the wet rag. It really helps a lot. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised on how much we get dehydrated and don't realize it. Most of the pain in our body is from dehydration, honestly. Especially doing this water fast right now, I can tell the difference. Like, seriously, it's crazy. Yeah. So I've been on 2 days of straight water. With the first day of my water fast, I had my chlorophyll in it. I started taking the chlorophyll in my water because of the elevation in Colorado. It makes all the difference for me in breathing and being able to rest. And be able to open my lungs to breathe in air. It's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't think that it would be like that, but it is. This chlorooxygen, mint flavored, traditionally used for blood support. Chlorophyll concentrate. It also has a touch of sodium and a touch of copper, which trips me out. So, yeah, I'd have to do more research on copper. Because I know there's like trace minerals that are beneficial for us, but I also know that a lot of metals can be toxic to our body if we have too much in them. Example for like mercury. Oof, that one's the worst. I remember back in the old days when we had the thermometers with the mercury on the end, and you have to be careful because if they break, you can't touch it. You don't want it. Yeah, like, why would we work with something like that? I don't know. It was interesting, but we don't use those kind of thermometers anymore. We use the electric ones that go under your tongue. I mean, the other one used to go under your tongue too, but it was a really interesting feeling because it was like plastic. And it was an odd shape because it wasn't like perfectly round. It was almost like a triangle, a circular triangle. Anyway, so just catching you up on technically day 3 of my water fast. Oosh. Yeah, it's a purge time. So I'm really interested to see what my blood work is going to be. I was really hoping to be on day 4 of my fast when I went to get my blood work. But life got in the way of my concept, which is fine because that's how the universe wants it to be. And I'm good with that. I have no qualms with that. So I got about not quite 12 hours, maybe 11 hours. Because my appointment's at 2:30. Well, no, yeah, it would be 12 hours because we started at 2:12. I've been going for 15 minutes. Yes, exactly 12 hours from now is when I'll get my blood taken. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next 12 hours. I might give you an update before I go to the doctor's if I go through another cycle. But as you can see, my skin is happy. It's just my body's releasing toxins. So it can be pretty intense when your body wants to release stuff. You know, holding on to too much that doesn't serve me. Yeah. I don't know. I'm 51, so taking care of my health is pertinent to me. So I want to stay young and vital and happy and free. And I don't like going to doctors if I don't have to. I only go to the doctors for like blood work or x-rays or things like that, you know. It's like they give me antibiotics, I start laughing. Yeah, I'm not really excited about them. You know, they take over a year to get through your system. Oh my god, and they never tell you about the side effects. They never do. You have to read up on them. You really got to do your research on the side effects of what antibiotics do to your body. And please, if you're gonna take the antibiotics, I'm not advocating pro or no, just take your probiotics with it, you know, and eat clean when you're taking antibiotics to help flush the toxins that come with it out of your system faster. It really helps. And honestly, if you have an oversugar diet while you're taking antibiotics, they're not going to serve you as well. I know this from experience. I remember as a kid, it was hilarious. I used to get these abscesses in my mouth, right, on my gums. Explosive. The doctor used to give me this pill. It was like an antibiotic, right? That thing was so freaking huge, I could barely get it down my throat. The doctor would always say, "Oh, here's a cookie." Why would you give me a cookie after giving me medication? It's counterintuitive. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. That's what my doctor did. After that, I never trusted doctors again. I was like, this is stupid. Why would you give me something to cure an abscess and then give me a cookie when the cookie aggravates the abscess? Seriously. What is that? I do not know. So, it's another reason why I'm doing the fasting. You know, because one thing about my doctor, her partner in her office is fully holistic. She's not fully holistic, but, you know, she takes in the important stuff. So we're able to have conversations about herbs and things, which I love, truly love. It was funny. It was one of the things that she had me take for my high blood pressure was bay leaf extracts. And I have been wanting to ingest bay leaf for the longest time. Like, I cook with it, but when the leaf is whole, if it breaks up, it can be very coarse, so you don't want to swallow it. But if you grind it up like a powder, then it's fine. Or if you have it like a tea, then it's fine. But yeah, when the leaves are full or broken and they go through your system, they can actually like cut your intestines a little bit. So that's why you only want to ingest the ground bay leaves. But you can use the bay leaves in all your cooking. And what else are they amazing for? Burning. Just like sage, how it cleanses the space. Because I don't know if you know that. The sage and bay leaf and most of the other herbs, they carry these micro, I forget the word, but they're these little particles that clean the air, that kills the bacteria in the air. It's pretty freaking amazing. So if you think you might have mold in your house, start burning some sage, burn some bay leaves, burn some rosemary, burn some pine. Kill that bacteria in your house. Seriously. That's what it's for. Kills bacteria. Frees spirits. Bacteria from negativity. Okay? That's why we're created with mycelium. That's a whole nother subject. Definitely in a whole nother podcast. We'll get into all that. Right now, I'm just like doing my free flow because I don't have my studio set up. When I get my greenhouse set up, then we'll have a little studio environment, and then maybe I'll do some interviews. I don't know. I've always thought about it. I did a couple with my friend Kawanya a while back last year. So if you go into my video archives, you'll see me interviewing a person. But I know, I gotta put it down. No, I want to burn some more. I love it. Another one that people burn a lot is the Palo Santo. That is really beautiful. I love it. But it can get a little more intense for me because it's denser in the burn smell. And it's a harder wood as compared to a plant leaf. I think that's part of it. I don't know. Oh, no, I take that back. I know why. This was a funny one. So, my beautiful friends from Dragon Nest, the ones I got my dragon's blood from, pure dragon's blood from the Amazon. I love it so much. When I'm done with my fasting, it'll probably be one of the first things I'll put on my tongue. To really get that sense of power, to call my power back to me and everything. But I had a very interesting conversation with my friend, and she was explaining to me that the Palo Santo that's sold in the States is treated. And I think that's why I don't like it, because it's treated. And she had some fresh Palo Santo that she brought back from the Amazon. So I got that from her. Totally different smell. Oh my word. I am so in love with it. I have it in a bag in my car. I need to start using that again. I might use that to cleanse my trailer again tomorrow. Because I used the sage and the pine today. Or yesterday. So today, I might use that fresh Palo Santo. Yeah, and it burns differently. You know, because the Palo Santo we buy in the States is treated. That's why it's harder to get the thing lit. Right? Like, how would you even think of that they would treat the fucking wood? Yeah, you can bleep it out if you want. But seriously, I found that so flabbergasting. Oh, it made me so angry. But when I move into the bigger trailer. Then I'll be able to set the bedroom up as my spirit room, and then I'll be able to do readings. And hopefully I'll finally find my phone holder so I don't have to prop it up in strange places. I don't know. I think it's in my spirit bag because it's not in my art bag. Oh, I can't wait to set up my art studio because the other camper has a full-size couch in it compared to this one that's just a little tunnel. Still won't have running water, still won't have a working sewer, but you know, when you're living out in the mountains, sometimes you just gotta rough it a little bit. It's an interesting feeling for sure. Taking all the amenities out of my life, you know, and actually just living with the earth. I find it pretty amazing. I'm totally grateful to be out here. Yeah, and the next place I want to live for like a month or two is Mount Shasta. I'm definitely getting out there next. I'm just waiting until everything warms up just a little bit. Because I tell you, some of those snowstorms that came through here, ooh, I didn't think my tent was going to survive. But we used these thick stakes. I was surprised we got them through the whole of the brace of the tent. But we did. Yeah, there was one spot from the wind that bent the frame, but then we put some wood on it. But my so-called boss, person that was helping me, disappeared again. I say again, you're like, huh? That's for a whole nother podcast. That'll be about relationships. Intermediate relationships, personal relationships, casual relationships, family relations, blood relations. Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole series on relationships. Each podcast will be about a different concept, but they're all integrated anyway, because that's something that I've been working on a lot this past month is relationships and people's interactions. It's like I loved my communication class in college because we had to do all these different presentations, group presentations and stuff, and the dynamics of getting people to work together that had no synopsis of what was going on. But to me, it was casual and natural because in my speech class, my teacher said I was a natural being able to stand in front of the podium and talk. Like, I didn't need notes with me to discuss what I was discussing. I mean, but it's always good to have notes to refer back to if you get deer in the headlights feeling. I don't know if you've ever done a public presentation, but yeah, it's nice to have notes. Unless you're doing the same presentation over and over and over, then sometimes you don't need the notes, but it's nice to have them there to make sure you don't miss a point, you know. But then when you first start speaking, you definitely need notes to refer back to, so because those deer in the headlight situations can happen a lot if you're not used to speaking in public or in front of others. That's one of the reasons why I like doing these video podcasts over writing it down, because then I can see all my emotional reactions to everything that I'm saying. And the what's that word? Conviction behind my words. I love being able to review that, you know, because before I post any video, I watch it again so I can see the full self-reflection that I got from it. The things you do, things I do for my body, it's such a trip. And it helps on the wrist, because remember, this is a pressure point for nausea. So, giving it a little love is good too. I remember when I was going to this Chinese herbalist, she used to have me do moxie. Love that stuff. I want to get some more. And there's like a pressure point right about here. She says like half finger down, if you can find it, and you just hold and you do your moxie like right there. This isn't moxie, but it would do the same thing, except it's kind of going out. So that's where I learned to hold smoke on different pressure points, and the sage works pretty well. And the mox is a lot easier to burn because once it's lit, it stays lit. It comes in a stick, yay bag, right? Yay thick. Kind of looks like a cigar, but it's not because it's not wrapped in anything. It's solid. So, what I'm assuming mox is like a bunch of herbs that are compressed together, made into like a resin to burn, a pulp resin, like an incense almost. hmm Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. I wish I knew the Chinese name for it, but I just remember she called them mock sticks. That's all I remember. I never tried to look them up. I should try to look them up because it'd be good to have again. She used to give me sticks. So I had half a stick. I used to keep in one of my jewelry boxes forever, along with my tiger balm, which I should look for again too, because that's great for muscles. I don't know if you've ever used tiger balm, if you know what it is, but it's basically the Chinese version of like what's that stuff that you rub on when you're sick? Halls, the Vicks rub. That's what it's called. Yeah, Tiger Balm is like the Chinese version of the Vicks rub. It's so much better for you because it's made out of natural herbs. Yeah, like I understand the Vicks rub, the concept, but they put a couple things in there that aren't. You can make your own Vicks rub. I'll have to look up a YouTube for that. I'm sure someone's made it because I watch people make things naturally all the time. Because if you think about it, any commercial product was produced from a concept of natural therapies, turned into something that they could market and make more money off of to take you away from the natural therapies. Because I'm sure, like the Vicks rub back in the day, is when you put a bunch of fresh herbs in a bowl, in a hot pot, and then you just breathe that in instead of doing the Vicks, and you'd make your own menthol salve to put on your chest. I mean, it's not that hard to make a menthol salve. I buy I buy these different balms all the time. I've been wanting to make them. It's not that much different than making candles. You just have to use a little different, not just straight wax. You mix it. You mix the different blends of wax. Because with candles, you just usually use one wax. But with like balms and salves, you use more than one, so it can be softer. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's good enough for day 3 update. Letting go, there's nausea is taking time. I think I need to go within instead of talking out for a little bit. Try to get a little more rest. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I send you so much love and gratitude. Remember, because I am beyond grateful for this process that I'm going through. It teaches me a lot about myself and my body and about elements in the world around us. It's all the way you view things, the perception that you take in. It's like you could read the same book 10 times and get a different analogy off of it each time, because you only see parts of a reflection. To grasp the whole thing at once, that's a lot of intake, and we need to take our time in this world to absorb everything, because There is major overstimulation out there with all the stuff that goes on with products and TV and marketing and people trying to sell you stuff all the freaking time. I know, right? Like, oof. And then with all the news telling you all the things going on around the world, like, how do you ever have time to breathe with all the information coming in? It's so overwhelming. That's when you shut everything off. You stay quiet and let go. And when you're letting go, do different breathing techniques. I love different breathing techniques. Oh my word, talking about subliminal messages. They drive me nuts. I'll give you a perfect example. For or I'll just throw out a few. Like the arches, the arches for McDonald's, that was taken from ancient times, and they're using it and they're making money off of it. The other example I had just went out of my head because I said that one. That's so funny. Oh yeah. So I don't know if you remember the chain of stores. It was called 7-Eleven. Yeah, it broke apart a breathing pattern, and you can change it up what works best for you. So like Dr. Joe Dispenza, when you do the meditations, he has you stand up really straight, and then he has you suck in the air like a straw. But when you're breathing, you breathe from your core, your spine, all the way up to your crown, right? So you're sucking that air in from your core to your crown. And when you suck air in, it comes in faster. So you only really need 4 counts, right? And then you hold it in, for 7, right? 7-Eleven. And then when you let it out through your nose, real nice and slow, for 11 counts. See what I'm saying? The subliminal messages, how they break it up. 4, 7-Eleven, 7, 4, 11, all these things, And if you look at the names of the corporations, break them down. Like Burger King, they took the concept of being a king and turned it into food. The freak? That's not how this is supposed to work. You're not a king for eating beef. That's such a freaking... Oh, first word that comes to my mind is a conundrum. It doesn't make sense. It's not proper, But it's all these things that all these different corporations do commercially, And our angels and guides will put him out to us all the time. But then, because we've been so overstimulated our whole freaking life, this product, that product, this product, that product, over and over and over, we can't comprehend it anymore. But that's what they want. They don't want you to comprehend it anymore. I'll give you another example. M&M. They did the same thing as McDonald's with the arches, but they did 2 M's. So it's what? M&M. Yeah, I don't know how to break that one down, but that one just came to my head for some reason. You could go down the rabbit hole and break down the names of all the different corporations and see where the history comes in from each one. What is the idiosyncrasy with them? What is the subliminal message that they're trying to send us by using all of these ancient symbols and concepts into these programmable. They make us programmable when they fill us up with all of this overwhelming amount of commercialized products. It's we can't think for ourselves anymore. And what's the biggest thing in almost every commercialized product? Processed sugar. Really, if you're gonna eat something that's processed, read the ingredients. Because that's what's making you sick. It's lowering your metabolism. It's lowering your defense mechanisms that your body uses to naturally fight off foreign organisms. Because most of those commercialized products are foreign organisms. If it doesn't come straight from the ground to where it's picked and handed to you, yeah, think about it. Anyway, this has gone on long enough. I've gone on so many different tangents when it was just supposed to be my 3-day Waterfast update. Deep breath. And as you're releasing your body, you're telling yourself, I release all the toxins and negative energies that no longer serve me. You suck it up through the straw and you hold it in. When you're holding in, you're allowing the oxygen to say, okay, I'm taking all the debris out and letting it go. That's the point for the holding process, is so the breath can collect all the toxins, so when you breathe out, they go. Another breathing method that one of my mentors taught me, if I remember it right, is you breathe nice and slow. You breathe in for about 5 to 7 through the nose. Then you hold it. And then when all of the toxins are collected by your breath, you blow it out really, really fast. But when you blow it out, you make sure you get it all the way through your gut down to the bottom of your spine. Then try to hold it for a minute, or a second. And then slowly breathe in through your nose again. And then hold it. Once your lungs are full, then you hold it. And you let it go. So those are 2 breathing concepts that you can do. One is breathing in through your nose. One's breathing in through your mouth and out through your nose, and the other one is breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Which works better for you? Try them both out. The numbering is very helpful, but it's not completely vital because everybody's bodies work differently. You can do the 4, 7, 11, or you can do the 5, 7, 9. It just depends on you. I know, funny, 5, 7, 9. Odd numbers, I know. But each pattern, the breathing in, the hold, and the breathing out are going to be a different set of numbers. But if you really just want to work with your body and not count, just kind of take it in until you can't get any more in. And then you just hold it and you sit with it. You let it flow. And then when you feel like you need to release, that's when you release. And then when you start your breathing practice a little more often, then maybe you can extend your numbers one way or the other. You might turn your 4 to a 5, you might turn your 7 to 11, you might turn your 11 to a 13. Who knows? This 13 is a very magical number, but we'll get into that on another podcast because, we're taking this one a little too far out. But I just want to give you a couple breathing tips real quick. It helps slow down the anxiety. It helps release some of the nausea. If you don't have sage, breathing is very important. I remember in the old days, they used to say, breathe in a bag. That shit fucking always cracked me up. But it does help. It does work. Because then you're focused on where your breath is going. That's the main reason I think that they did that. You know, you know, yes, there's outside particles, but the thing is, when you're breathing in the bag, you're not getting in full oxygen. You're getting your residual, which trips me out. That's a whole nother podcast. Anyway, I'm gonna say, have an amazing night. And remember, I love you, and I love me, and you love you, and I take care of me, and you take care of you, and we'll be good. You have an amazing grand rising and beautiful souls. I love you so much.